Okay, we're going to do the last part of our study guide, the philosophical approaches to legal ethics. And I find that some students just ignore this part. They think we will pass on the others and they just don't like this part and they don't answer it. It's not worth it. At the end of the day, every mark counts because it makes a difference between if you end on 47, then you make it, but if you end on 46, you do not make it. So it is essential that you try to answer each and every question. If we ask this now independently, the rule-based approach, we ask, for example, compare the rule-based approach with utilitarianism, then you must give us everything that is here. Under the rule-based on page 64, you must at least know the person who designed this philosophy, and it's Immanuel Kant. You must know that he said that if there is a rule, the rule must be universalized. And once it is accepted by everything, it becomes a rule that everyone must abide by. And you must refer to the categorical imperative and the hypothetical imperative on page 65. Okay, so be careful, be able to answer a question of 10 marks. Purely if it is straightforwardly asked, discuss the rule-based approach or compare the rule-based approach with any other philosophical approach. Under utilitarianism, page 66, you must at least tell me that it focused on the consequences. It is a consequentialist theory. And the person is Jeremy Bentham. And what he said was, what is important or what is ethical is the biggest joy for the biggest number affected by the decision that you make. And Markowitz has that example of the 20 prisoners, and they say if we may shoot one, the 19 can go. It's a good outcome for 19, but what about that one person that must be sacrificed? So you should, in each instance, see the pros and the cons of each approach. So what is the positive things about utilitarianism, but what is the negative things about utilitarianism? And then virtue ethics, page 67. You must at least know Aristotle was the person who advocated this, that he focused on Greek men, that he said you are the most happy if you're a Greek man and you're in the political arena. You must have something about that. But at the end of the day, Aristotle also said it is not just abiding by rules, and it is not just looking at the consequences, but it is the question, who am I? How will I feel? For example, let's say you now euthanize your sick father that I've mentioned earlier. And tomorrow morning it is the front page of the Star. Professor Slabbert kills father. What will it do to me? Or what will it do to my image? Or how will I feel? So I will be able to say I did it for him or whatever, but let's say they say Professor Slabbert stole R1 million from UNISA. Can you see? You must think, what will it do to the person? Who are you in the circumstances? That is, then you are a virtuous person. If you're a good person, you can take responsibility and you do the things then correctly. So that is, we can also ask the rule-based compared with virtue ethics, or we can ask utilitarianism compared with virtue ethics. So now 10 marks on each one, then you're ready for any comparison or to add it wherever it is necessary. Feminism, take note of that. If you are a feminist, you can answer that question. I'm not, so I ignore that part. Postmodern ethics. Postmodern ethics, as I've said, we like asking the characteristics of postmodernism. Why? Because we want you to know it, because we live in a postmodern society. We are actually, our Bill of Rights, our Constitution is more postmodernism than actually rule-based. But remember that we like to add prince with the postmodernists. So you must at least know their characteristics on page 71, but you must also know, we like to add this also to the question, what are the negative things of postmodernism? And it is basically that no one knows anymore what is right or wrong because everything goes, everything is accepted. And that is it. Thank you very much. Then it ends here.